Hello, my name is Shaye-Love, and today we're going to be talking about the red panda. Its scientific name is Alurius fulgens, and this is its pronunciation. And this is what the organism looks like. So the first thing we're going to be talking about is its taxonomy. So according to its taxonomic ranking, red pandas are a part of kingdom Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, order Carnivora, family Aluridae, genus Alurius, and species Fulgens. And to classify the red panda using binomial nomenclature, we would take the genus and the species, which is Alurius and Fulgens, and together they would make the scientific name of the red panda. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is the red panda's phylogeny. So red pandas are distant relatives of the giant pandas and other bears, but they have a common ancestor of the raccoon. So according to this phylogenetic tree, some of the closely related species are the giant panda, spectacled bear, sloth bear, polar bear, sun bear, American black bear, Asiatic black bear, and brown bear. In terms of their evolution, they evolved from the Personidae family, consisting of raccoons, codus, ringtails, and more. And red pandas have evolved about 30 million years ago from the same family. And scientists have debated on whether the red panda's DNA is closer to a bear or a raccoon, and this is due to the lack of genetic evidence. So according to this phylogenetic tree, you can see the Personidae families right here, and where they link, the link breaks off into the red panda and into the raccoon, and their link together is closer than any of these organisms from the Ursidae family, which is mainly all consisting of bears, but they are still related in some way. So the next thing we're going to be talking about is the red panda's body structure. So in terms of its morphology, this beautiful animal for its fur, it has reddish-brown fur on the top and black fur on the bottom half of its body. So for their tail, they have a furry ringtail, and it is very similar to one of our raccoon based on its stripes and its furry texture to it. And for its face, it has white rimmed ears and a cat-like face with white patches on its face. And for its paws, they have clawed feet for climbing and prey catching. So in terms of their internal structure, for their skeleton, they walk on 4 legs but can stand on 2. Their skeleton is suited for 4-legged walking, as their back/spine is parallel to the ground most of the time, just like this, and they're walking usually like that. They're also bilaterally symmetrical. And they're about the size of a domestic cat, and a domestic cat is about 46 centimeters, but they are a little bit longer, which makes them 58 centimeters. For their organ systems, red pandas have several of them, including a simple digestive tract, as well as a nervous, respiratory, cardiovascular system, and more. And similar to all mammals, the organ systems in a red panda serve similar functions as it does in humans. And they can internally maintain their temperature in their body, making them endothermic organisms. So I put this illustration of a diagram of the inside, the interior and the exterior of a red panda. So as you can see here, zoomed up, these are the same organs that you would find in human bodies. So you have the heart, the lung, the liver, the stomach, and the intestine. And this is also an illustration of their forearm muscles of the red panda. So the next thing we're going to move on to is the red panda's unique characteristics for living in the environment. So for their unique features, red pandas are crepuscular, which means they're active in twilight, dusk or dawn, and they're also nocturnal. They spend the day sleeping in trees and spend the night marking territory with urine and musk to find food. They could be active during the day as well. Red pandas clean themselves like cats, and they communicate using twittering sounds, squeaks, and whistles. And when they're cold, they curl their tail over its face to conserve heat like this. And when they're hot, they stretch on a branch and dangle their legs like this. And when threatened, they attempt to escape by running up a rock or tree. And they will stand on their rear legs and extend its claws to appear larger and threatening. See, that's what they look like to appear threatening, but they still look cute. So the next thing we're talking about is the relationships and interactions that red pandas have with each other, as well as other organisms in the wild. So for red panda relationships, they are predators to small birds, insects, and grubs, which is also part of their diet. And they are prey for snow leopards and clouded leopards. And red panda cubs serve as prey for other carnivores such as owls, hawks, and martens. And they also have a symbiotic relationship with evergreen trees. They do live in trees, so that's why they would be symbiotic, because red pandas greatly benefit from these trees while the tree itself remains unharmed. And interactions with their own species, they are normally solitary animals, so there's very little interaction for them. And they typically keep their distance from each other, but will occasionally communicate using certain calls and sounds. And at most, they can travel in small groups or in pairs, so some of them are solitary, some of them are not. So for mating season, which lasts from January to March, they mate with multiple partners, and the females give birth to 4 deaf and blind cubs, which develop over time, and the females normally raise them alone. And males will only raise the young if they live in small groups. So the next topic is locations and where they're located in the world and their ecosystem. So for their world distribution, most red pandas live in the eastern Himalayas, and some of them live in Toronto. As of July 2020, a red panda from the Toronto Zoo named Isla, she gave birth to 2 cubs, and this was the first time a red panda has been pregnant there in 24 years. In Nepal, while some of them are found in some national parks, 75% of their potential habitats are in unprotected areas. In Bhutan, it is confirmed that the red pandas are present in some protected areas, but their population status is unknown. And in China, which is where most of them are located in, they can be found in northern Burma. So for the ecosystems they live in, their sharp claws make them energetic tree dwellers, as well as their tail, which helps them keep balance in the trees. And their fur allows them to camouflage among the red moss, which is in this picture, and white lichen at the tree trunks. Tree dwelling also helps them hide from predators, and they also sunbathe on the tree as well. They would like to live in high altitude temperate forest with high amounts of bamboo in the Himalayas and other high mountains. So where do we play a part in this? Well, this topic talks about their status and how we impact their species. So unfortunately, the red pandas are endangered species and their population is slowly declining, and there are less than 10,000 left in the wild. And so for some of the human impacts that are negative, the biggest one is poaching. So poachers kill red pandas for their pelt to sell in China, and they also make hats with it, as shown in this picture, unfortunately. They can also get caught in traps meant for other animals like deer. And it was deemed illegal in some regions, but illegal trading and poaching is still happening and being overlooked. In terms of the environment, a red panda's diet mainly consists of bamboo. Thus, deforestation has prevented them from obtaining food easily. Climate change caused movements in vegetation and fragmentation of the red panda's habitat. Hydro projects, road development, and mining are also destroying their habitats. So to end this topic off on a positive note, there have been several conservation projects that preserve and protect red pandas. Laws such as the Forest Law, which was enforced in 1984, have been placed to protect forest habitats and organisms living in it. Awareness about the benefits of protecting the red panda have been brought up, and it brought an understanding of how red pandas can help balance their ecosystem and combat the environmental issues that affect it. So to end off this presentation, so I decided to put some red panda facts. So here are some riveting red panda facts. So the first fact is that they have two extinct relatives, the giant panda, which is unrelated to the modern one that we know of, and there's been word about a giant panda. And scientists found this out through different fossils, but unfortunately there's no pictures of them. And they were given the name panda first, which is about 50 years before the black and white variation. Red pandas actually have a false thumb, and in this diagram here, you can see it's highlighted in blue, but it's actually a modified wrist bone that helps them grasp bamboo and climb trees as well as they do. The internet browser Firefox was actually inspired by a red panda, as the word Firefox is another name for them. And the logo here is not actually a fox, but it's a red panda. Red pandas also love artificial sugar, especially sucralose, which is the Splenda packet. And finally, red pandas have inspired a few TV characters that we overlooked, and Master Shifu here from Kung Fu Panda is one of them. So that concludes our presentation. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you learned a thing or two about red pandas. I'll see you next time. Bye!